and welcome to week 8. This is Ludmilla Adams from FashionChalkboard.com. You are watching one tip of the series 52 Weeks of Fashion Sketching in Adobe Illustrator. This week we are going to learn how to beef up a regular quilt stitch. And I'm giving you guys a lot of example in this free download file. The link to download is below the video, so check it out. And pretty much what I have here is a regular quilt pattern, so it's assumed that you know how to do it. If not, I give you the file so you can take it apart. And then from there, I'm gonna make sure you guys learn how to make it look a little bit more realistic. And then from there, I just have some examples here to make the quilt stitching a little bit more modern. So what if you were to make it into a little bit more of an abstract design? And then even here we can apply the little bit more puffy stitch. All we really need to do is create a stitch. So a regular stitch, and I have a couple of examples here, could just look anything like you learn in a basic sketching class for Illustrator. It's the stroke, and you can set a dashed line, and maybe you can set the cap to round so that it looks a little bit more like a stitch, but it really doesn't have any shadow, or it doesn't really show any holes in it. So what I did is I simply just imagined how it could look, and I have this file for download as well if you'd like to just take it apart. And it's really small. I kind of like to draw it at a scale that's comparable to the flat sketch. So as I was drawing this, I was drawing next to a flat sketch. So right now, let's zoom into that, and you can then see what it is. It's kind of like a croissant looking shape. So all I did is I created these shapes right here, and I'm going to ungroup this. So you can see that I just drew this with my pen tool. And a couple of little tips that I could give you: draw the croissant looking shape and make the stroke really skinny, because this is a really small drawing. What you could do is just draw a couple of lines across, and I'm going to do just a little short version of this. I'm going to make sure that the lines on top, everything has no fill, and then we can go to our Pathfinder and then just divide. And when we say divide, we can also ungroup, so you can go to Object, Ungroup, and then we have these different components, and each component then can have a different color, and that's where the puffiness comes in. So you can see how I went from a darker color to a lighter color, and then also on top I just put two closed objects, and then to simulate kind of like a shadow, or maybe even the hole that the stitch would go in and out of the fabric, little opening at the side is just a bunch of circles with transparency. If I take them apart, you can see here that it's just a bunch of circles. Okay, so if we were to grab all of these components here, and I actually have a little box back here that will ensure that there's a overlap. So watch this. If I just grab all these components, make a pattern brush, and I just say okay, the brush is going to come out having like these two dots next to each other. So right here you see that, and also this brushes were magnified at 8,500%, so it looks really big. But watch this. See how there is kind of like, it looks really like a little croissant that's laying on top of some kind of dirt or something. But we need these two dots that you see next to each other, the two holes or openings, to become one. And there's a trick to that, and that's the no fill, no stroke box. And how do you create that? It's really simple. You just do your rectangle tool, and you just click and drag, and you kind of estimate, and it doesn't even matter in what position it is, it's just the width of it that matters. So this is what's going to be visible. So I'm just kind of excluding some of the things, and then what I want to do is go to Object, Arrange, Send to Back, or if I know my shortcut, I will press that. And make sure it's no fill, no stroke. Sometimes there's white in here, and then that won't work. So make sure it's that. And then we'll just grab all of these components and drag this in here. It looks the same, it feels the same, pattern brush, but the big difference is we are going to now create a brush that has overlap. So watch this. I'm duplicating this and then I'm pressing on my new brush. And now you can see how it looks like there's a thread going in and going out. Okay, so that's pretty much it for today. I really just wanted to show you guys how quickly you can create this brush, and you can take a lot more time. Your croissant can look a lot better than mine. And from there, just play with it. So I gave you some components here. You can always obviously pull my components out. So all of these swatches that I'm using on all these different layers, so you can see I called some of these quilted basic, quilted puffy, and then I think I made a mistake and I didn't really rename them, though. Just explore them. It might be a little bit heavy on file size, so just be patient and let the layer load. But anyways, you can just go to your swatches and just pull it out, pull it into an empty area, grab a whole bunch of white space, and then you can just drop these in here and see what I gave you guys there and take it apart. But in essence, if you create your little stitch, you can apply it to any design that you want and come up with your own quilt design. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this tiny little tip for today. If you have any questions about it, or if I went too fast, or if in my mind something makes sense and it doesn't make sense in your mind, let me know. If you're coming up with something really great and you'd like to share it, please hashtag flatsketch52 and like the video, subscribe to my channel, ask me questions, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.